Okay. So how has your or how have your muscle spasms been in your legs? Has anything changed?
Wow, actually, now that you ask, I think it's gone down a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I think it's still here and there, but like I haven't really paid attention to it, so it must have done something. Yeah,
Great, good. Is
that's
there
awesome.
anything going on physically in your body now?
No, I'm pretty relaxed right now, so I'm in a good state to like really start. I had I was talking about that tightness in the back of my head. I had that earlier because I had a phone call with my dad that kind of overreacted to, and it kind of did that. But I got that down, so
Okay. Nice.
yeah,
Do you want to talk about that reaction to the phone call, and then we'll kind of take it from there?
sure. Maybe it can lead into something.
Yeah. What
Um,
is it just him? Is it seeing his number show up on your phone? Does that in and of itself bring on a reaction?
yeah,
Okay. And what sort of reaction do you get when you see
it's
his
the
number?
same kind of one. It's like, is he going to yell at me?
Okay. So would you say it's a fear?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So initially your go-to emotion is right to fear.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So why don't we just start on that? And right now, if you tune into that fear, or if you think back to that phone call, 0 to 10, how strong would that fear be?
It's a 4 right now. I think I kind of knocked it down, but yeah, it's actually kind of escalated to a 7 now that I think about it. Like picturing him and him yelling kind
Yeah.
of triggers that.
Okay. And how did the phone call end up going? Did he end up yelling? No. Okay.
No,
Okay. All right. So let's start with that.
sure.
All right. Let's start with, even though I immediately go to fear when I see my dad calling,
Even though I immediately go to fear when I see my dad calling,
I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself.
I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself.
How true does that feel for you? Can you deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive yourself?
Kind of not.
Okay. All right, let's try this. I want it to sit well with you. Even though I immediately go to fear when my dad's number shows up,
Even though I immediately go to fear when my dad's number shows up,
I'm willing to accept that I feel that way.
I'm willing to accept that I feel that way.
How does that sit with you?
Better.
Okay. All right, even though I go right to fear when my dad's number shows up,
Even though I'm willing to go to fear when my dad's number shows up,
I'm willing to accept that that's how I feel.
I'm willing to accept that that's how I feel.
I go right to fear.
I go right to fear.
I go right to fear.
Go right to fear.
It's just an automatic reaction.
It's just an automatic reaction. I actually get upset when I do that. Like I'm upset that I always go there.
And then I get mad at myself for going there.
And then I get mad at myself for going there.
But I can't help it.
But I can't help it.
I go right to fear.
I go right to fear.
Past experiences have taught me that.
Past experiences taught me that.
So I'm doing the best I can.
So I'm doing the best I can.
You feel like you are?
Trying, it's just hard.
Yep. It's hard to make any changes.
It's hard to make any changes.
I go right to fear.
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 But seeing that number, I go right to fear.
Just seeing that number, I go right to fear.
Seeing that number, I picture him yelling.
Seeing that number, I picture him yelling.
Seeing that number, I go right to fear.
Seeing that number, I go right to fear.
Seeing that number, I go right to picturing him yelling.
Seeing that number, I go right, seeing his face too, just anything, just right to fear.
Anything related to dad, I go right to fear.
Anything related to dad, I go right to fear.
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 Don't forget to take some deep breaths as you work. I go right to fear.
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 And then I get upset with myself.
And then I get upset with myself.
I wish I didn't have to go right to fear.
Wish I didn't have to go right to fear.
But that's what experience has taught me.
But that's what experience has taught me.
I wonder if there's another way.
I wonder if there's another way.
I wonder if I'd be willing to consider another way.
I wonder if I'd be willing to consider another way.
I want there to be another way.
I want there desperately to be another way.
I want to see his number and I want to feel...
Shrug it off.
I want to be able to shrug it off.
I just want to be able to shrug it off.
I want it to be no big deal.
I want it to be no big deal.
But I go right to fear.
I go right to fear automatically.
It's so automatic.
So automatic.
I just picture him yelling.
Picture him yelling.
I see his face and I feel fear.
I see his face and I feel fear.
Your fear was at a 7. Has it shifted at all? No. Still feel fear.
I still feel fear.
I still feel fear.
I still feel fear.
Even though we had a decent conversation.
Even though we had a decent conversation.
And feel free to change my words too. Even though he didn't yell.
Even though we didn't yell.
How was he on the phone call? What words would you use?
Just asked me to do something.
Totally fine.
Yeah. Wasn't anything hostile or anything.
So I can have a nice conversation with my dad.
So I can have a nice conversation with him.
In fact, quite often I can have a nice conversation with him.
In fact, often I can have a nice conversation with him.
But I still immediately go to fear.
I still immediately go to fear.
And I know this fear is from a while back.
And I know this fear is from a while back.
And I know it's because of all that fear when I was a kid.
Because when I was all that fear when I was a kid.
I know it was all that fear way back then.
It was all that fear way back when.
And my cells have studied that feeling.
My cells have studied that feeling.
And they're not willing to let it go yet.
And I'm not willing to let it go yet.
Because I don't know if it's safe to let it go.
Because I don't know if it's safe to let it go. It resonated when you said those.
I don't know if it's safe to let it go.
I don't know if it's safe to let go.
All that fear is stuck in my body.
All that fear is stuck in my body.
And I don't know if it's safe to let it go.
I don't know if it's safe to let it go.
Because if I let it go,
Because if I let it go,
what might happen?
something bad.
Something bad will happen.
Something bad will happen.
So I protect myself by just
So I
going straight to fear.
So I protect myself by going straight to fear.
But isn't it ironic that going right to fear feels awful?
But isn't it ironic that going straight to fear feels ironic?
It feels terrible.
Feels terrible.
So it's ironic because you're trying to protect yourself, yet you're going straight to fear. It's because your body, all the cells in your body, you're used to that feeling. So it becomes a safe feeling.
A fake feeling?
A safe feeling.
Oh, safe feeling.
Yeah. So I've studied this safe feeling.
I've studied this safe feeling. It feels normal. What?
Exactly. It feels normal.
It feels normal.
It's my go-to feeling.
It's my go-to feeling.
It feels normal.
It feels normal.
It feels safe.
It feels safe.
I wonder what would happen if I let it go.
I wonder what would happen if I let it go.
I wonder what would happen if I just released it a little bit.
I wonder what would happen if I just released it a little bit.
What if my cells were willing to release it a little bit?
What if my cells were willing to release it just a little bit?
How does that feel to you? Scary?
It just doesn't know. Like when you say cells, it just doesn't resonate with me. Like,
Okay. So where are you holding your fear in your body?
chest and back of the head.
Okay.
My back of my head's tightening up and just my heart sinking, and it's like some thoughts are screaming, better not fuck up, better not fuck up.
So who's going to fuck up?
Me, or dad's gonna yell at me.
Okay. So, okay, I'm going to fuck up
I'm gonna fuck up,
and dad's going to yell at me.
and dad's gonna yell at me, because that's how it's always been.
Yep. All this fear in the back of my head and my chest
All this fear in the back of my head and my chest,
because I'm afraid I'm going to fuck up.
because I'm afraid I'm gonna fuck up.
All this fear in my chest and the back of my head
All this fear in the back of my head and my chest,
because I'm afraid I'm going to fuck up.
I'm afraid I'm gonna fuck up.
What do you mean by fucking up?
Just, I guess a memory that comes up is I used to play sports, and every time I made mistakes, like I remember playing basketball, and I would do these post moves, and every time I get on like a good streak, like with doing it good, it's like, oh, I finally got it, and then I fuck up, and then you fucking yell at me, just being like, you need, like a loud voice, like, you need to fucking do it the way you were doing it or something. It's like, and I had to keep going, and I was breathing harder, and I was tired, and he kept fucking yelling, and I was scared and pissed off. I wanted to tell him, but if I told him to fuck off or anything, he would just tell me I was in a pretty much a position where I couldn't do anything myself. And
Okay.
I don't know, that's the only thing that comes up.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So I can never do anything right.
I can never do anything right.
How strong does that feel? I can never do anything right.
Yep.
About a 10?
That and the word worthless comes up.
Okay. I can never do anything right.
I can never do anything right.
I always felt worthless.
I always felt worthless.
I can never do anything right.
I can never do anything right.
And Dad told me I was worthless.
And Dad told me I was worthless.
He must have been right.
He must have been right.
He must know all the rules.
He must know all the rules.
He was right.
He was right.
And I was supposed to guess.
And I was supposed to guess.
How was I supposed to know what his rules were?
How the fuck was I supposed to know what his rules were?
But I guess he's the authority on knowing what I'm supposed to do.
But he's the authority on knowing what I'm supposed to do.
And he made all the decisions.
And he made all the damn decisions.
And I messed up all the time.
And I messed up all the fucking time. Not one goddamn thing I did right.
I couldn't win.
I couldn't win.
Could never win.
I could never fucking win.
I couldn't win with him.
I couldn't win with him.
I was always wrong.
I was always wrong.
So now I'm afraid to be wrong.
And now I'm afraid to be wrong.
And I get mad at myself for being afraid to be wrong.
And I get mad at myself for being afraid to be wrong.
Because I know as an adult, I should be able to make my own decisions.
As an adult, I know I should be able to make my own decisions.
But my body remembers what it felt like to be yelled at.
Well, my body remembers what it felt like. What was that other part?
To be yelled at.
To be yelled at.
My thinking chest remembers.
My thinking chest remembers.
Your sinking chest.
Oh, my sinking chest.
The back of my head remembers.
My back of my head remembers.
It gets all tight.
It's all tight.
And I go right to fear.
And I go right to fear.
I go right to fear.
Let's go right to fear.
Can't do anything right.
Can't do anything right.
Can't do anything right.
Can't do anything right.
For some reason, my dad thought he knew what I was supposed to do.
For some reason, my dad thought he knew what I was supposed to do.
For some reason, he was okay with changing the rules on me.
For some reason, he thought it was okay changing the rules on me.
For some reason, he thought it was okay to yell at me.
For some reason, he thought it was okay to yell at me.
He must have been a pretty angry man.
He must have been a pretty angry man.
And for some reason, he took it all out on me.
And for some reason, he took it all out on me.
How is that sitting with you?
Nothing's really shifting at all.
Okay. What's the dominant feeling right now, or the dominant thought?
Can't tell right now. Kind of it's just, I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. We're going to start from the top. All this fear.
All this fear.
Let's go to the hand points. All this fear.
All this fear.
I see his number on my phone. I go right to fear.
I think what comes up is I'm not allowed to speak up for myself.
I'm not allowed to speak up for myself.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
It's not safe, right? Not
It's
safe.
not safe. He's going to yell even louder if I raise my voice.
It's not
And
safe. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just going to yell louder, and I'm fucking weak. Can't fucking beat the guy. All he does is fucking yell at me. Can't fucking stop for one fucking second. If it's anything that harms him, if anything that hurts him, any bad memory, any painful experience, he gets fucking mad or fucking whatever and just fucking yells at me and tells me to get over my goddamn self and I can't fucking do anything right. Or that's what he makes it feel like. Because he just fucking yells. All he does is fucking yell. Fucking yell. All he does is fucking yell when he's hurt. He cannot stop fucking yelling. And every time I try and say that he's wrong or trying to defend myself or raise my goddamn voice to him, he just raises it even goddamn fucking higher just because he's fucking pissed off about something. I feel even more fucking weak all the goddamn time. Every time I try and be more powerful than him, he's just one step fucking higher. So much fucking yelling. Stop fucking yelling. For once in your goddamn life, stop fucking yelling just because something pisses you off. Can't control your goddamn anger. Can't control your goddamn self. Tell me to get over my goddamn self when you can't even get over your goddamn self. Fuck.
Stop fucking yelling.
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 Get over yourself.
Get over yourself.
Stop fucking yelling.
Stop fucking yelling and get over yourself.
Stop fucking yelling.
Stop fucking yelling. Leave the fuck alone. What the fuck did I do to you? Just try and make him happy, and all I do is fucking fail.
So let's keep going.
It's like with the freaking sports. It's like every goddamn time I do something, like I have another memory too. I thought I got over, but it's like every time I try and watch the ball, you just fucking yell at me again to watch the goddamn ball. And every time the ball comes, I fucking miss it because I'm so fucking anxious and overwhelmed. I couldn't fucking focus for one goddamn second because you can't stop fucking yelling at me.
No wonder I missed the ball.
No wonder I missed the ball.
How can anybody focus on the ball under those conditions?
How could anyone focus on the ball when you fucking yell at my face and I'm overwhelmed with fear, anxiety, and anger and all the fucking in between?
It's completely unreasonable.
It's completely unreasonable. You have no place for what you fucking did.
Are you at a place where you would like to go back to that moment in that memory when he's yelling at you to watch the ball? And do you want to give him a piece of your mind in that moment?
Still kind of held back by fear. I feel like I can't speak up.
Okay. I can't speak up.
Can't speak up.
I can't speak my mind.
Can't speak my mind.
It's not safe to speak up.
It's not safe to speak up.
Now, when you imagine yourself speaking up, are you yelling?
Kind of. I have to.
You have to get him to listen?
Yeah.
Do you think he really hears you?
No.
No.
It's all about him.
It's all about him. Yeah.
And the only way to calm him down is to do what he says. I guess maybe, yeah, I think I'm ready now.
Okay. All right. So I want you to consider choosing for yourself however you want to respond to him and knowing that it's safe because you're only going back to a memory and he can't yell at you. So if you put yourself in that situation where he's yelling at you to watch the ball, tell me what you wish you could have done in that moment.
Throw the bat at his face and fucking tell him to fuck off.
And how would that have felt?
Feels bad if I did it.
So how about right now? There are no moral consequences. There's nothing for you to worry about. This is not actually happening. You're not actually hurting him. But what you're doing is you're trying to get some power back. So if you imagine hitting him with a bat, I want you to focus on getting your power back and how strong you would feel and how good that would feel to be able to stand up to him and shut him down. And just close your eyes and imagine it for a moment.
Kind of like, I don't know, I see myself hitting him across the face and in the nuts with the bat. That kind of gives me my power, but then I fear something consequence is going to come from that. As bad as that sounds.
So the consequence from him or like a different consequence?
If I hit him with the bat, God's going to strike me down or something.
Oh, God's going to strike you down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
as weird as this thought's getting.
yeah, no. That's okay. It's understandable because what's happening is that your moral judgment is, it's still there. You feel that that's wrong. Obviously, hurting him like that is wrong in your eyes morally because you don't want to hurt anybody. Your love,
Yeah.
your kindness, you're all heart. No one wants to hurt anybody, right? But the purpose of that is just to get your power back. So in the moment that you hit him and you feel like, oh, I'm finally standing up to him, we can end the thought right there. Nothing happened to him. That was just you simply standing up for yourself, standing up to him, and just feeling that power for a moment. Can you step into that power for a moment?
I think so. Can we just do another round tapping? Because I'm still afraid to just image myself hitting him with like that.
Absolutely. So all this fear.
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 I'm afraid to regain my power.
I'm afraid to regain my power.
Because something bad might happen.
Something bad might happen.
It's not safe to regain my power.
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 It's not safe to stand up for myself.
It's not safe to stand up for myself.
I would love to feel that power even just for a moment.
I'd love to feel that power just for a moment.
But it still doesn't feel safe.
But it still doesn't feel safe.
How is that landing with you?
It's starting to a little bit.
Still doesn't feel safe.
Still doesn't feel safe.
Still doesn't feel safe.
Still doesn't feel safe.
It doesn't feel safe to stand up for myself.
Still doesn't feel safe to stand up for myself.
It doesn't feel safe to stand up for myself.
It doesn't feel safe to stand up for myself.
Something bad might happen.
Something bad might happen.
I wish I could stand up for myself.
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 Still doesn't feel safe.
Still doesn't feel safe.
What's coming up?
Don't know. I can't tell. It just got stuck.
Okay, that stuck feeling.
I mean, just it's that fear of just like, if I stand up for myself, what retaliation is going to happen? I know it's just a memory, but it's always happened. I guess I've been afraid of pain or something.
Okay. I might be afraid of pain.
I might be afraid of pain.
I'm a little confused right now.
I'm a little confused right now.
I want to gain my power back,
I want to gain my power back.
but something bad might happen.
Something bad might happen.
It's a little confusing.
It's a little confusing.
All this fear that I have,
All this fear that I have.
and I can't stand up for myself.
I can't stand up for myself.
Something bad might happen.
Something bad might happen.
In fact, some bad things did happen when I stood up for myself.
In fact, some bad things did happen when I stood up for myself.
I got yelled at even more.
I got yelled at even more.
What else happened when you stood up for yourself in the past?
Jeez, I can't really remember. Maybe I got beat up or something, but I got in trouble. Like just multiple memories, just like from bullying from high school and stuff. Every time I was laughed at and mocked, and every time I said something, I was
Okay.
outnumbered.
So beaten down. You feel so beaten down. Is that a summary of kind of everything you just said?
Yep.
Just so beaten down.
So beaten down.
Can't do anything right.
I can't do anything right.
So beaten down.
I'm so beaten down.
So beaten down.
I'm so beaten down.
So beaten down.
So beaten down.
Not only by my father, but also by friends.
Everyone.
Everyone.
The world.
Beaten down by 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 the world. I'm surprised I'm not dead myself right now.
Beaten down by the world.
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 Surprised I'm still here.
Surprised it's still here.
I must have some sort of strong intention to be here.
Must have some sort of strong intention to be here.
There's a reason why I'm still here.
There's a reason why I'm still here.
Because I was so beaten down by everyone.
Because I was so beaten down by everyone.
There must be something in this for me to learn.
There must be something in this for me to learn.
That's so fucking annoying.
It's so fucking annoying.
Isn't that annoying?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Like every time I did stand up for myself, it's like I did in the past, but every time there was another consequence that happened. And I didn't know what to do. I froze up in fear again. It's like once I made that first layer, it was another thing. And then it's like, why the fuck should I keep doing this if things keep going to shit?
Mm-hmm. Why even bother?
Why even bother?
Why even bother?
Why even bother?
What would happen if you didn't? What would happen if all this anger happened around you, but you had a protective bubble around you? What would happen then?
Oh, I'd be cussing like son of a bitch to everyone.
How would that feel?
Feel amazing.
What if I told you that you do have that, you just didn't know it?
Well, here's the thing. It's like I try to be polite. You know, people say like I feel angry or something in like an assertive tone, but literally my first reaction is just fuck off. Mm-hmm. You know, just as derogatory as that sounds powerful to me. It's just like you need to back the fuck off and go fuck yourself or something.
So do you realize that that's you trying to get your power back?
that feels like I'm getting my power back, but it feels just me expressing my anger.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say that to actually someone, that's not going to go over well because I know more will come from that. So that's where I'm confused. It's like if I tell them to fuck off, yeah, it'll feel powerful, but then it's just going to cause more problems.
Right, right. Obviously, you wouldn't want to say it, but that's what's happening on the inside is you want to
Yeah,
say it because that's you wanting to get your power back. But
yeah.
you can't do it that way, so then you feel like
I'm
you got
not allowed to.
right, right, exactly. You don't have permission to.
Yeah,
And that might be how you felt too. You didn't have permission to stand up for yourself.
yeah.
You were granted no permission at all to do it.
Nope, nope. I was told if I do it, I'm wrong. I'm in the wrong.
Yep. If I did it, I'm wrong. If I didn't do it, I'm wrong.
If I did it, I'm wrong. If I didn't do it, I'm wrong. I'm wrong either way.
No permission for anything.
Nope, no permission. I guess that's just what I wanted. I just want someone to give me permission to do it.
Just wanted permission.
I just wanted permission.
I wanted to know what the right thing was.
I just wanted to know what the right thing was.
And no one would tell me.
No one would tell me.
Or I would try to pick the right thing.
I tried to pick the right thing, and then I was wrong if I thought I picked the right thing. So I never fucking knew.
So then I couldn't
It's not-
express myself.
Yeah.
So I
That's-
had nobody to follow and I couldn't trust myself.
Yeah.
And that's why you felt so beaten down and so lost, I imagine.
Yeah. Everything I did was wrong. And every time I tried to make a decision, I beat myself up for it because I get yelled at by someone else for it. Because it was the wrong thing to do. When I thought it was right, it was wrong.
And that's probably one of the worst feelings.
Yeah.
In your adult life now, do you make any decisions?
The decisions I want to make, like telling people to back off or I disagree or something, or telling them how I truly feel is still gone, but I still make decisions for myself. I still take care of myself. And I think I do it more than I know, but it just feels like I don't do it.
Right.
It's like I don't instinctively know I do it. Well,
So-
maybe subconsciously I do, but I don't consciously know it.
Let's stop tapping just for a moment. Let's take a deep breath. I think this is important for you to recognize. All day long, you are making decisions for yourself. All day long, from start to finish. And you're making appropriate choices. You're making choices about what to eat, what to wear, where to go to work, to not go to work. For everything, we make hundreds of choices all day long. So I think it would be worth it for you to notice that and acknowledge it all day long. Like, oh, there I go, making another choice. I get to decide. I'm deciding. I'm making the rules. I get to decide.
But then there's that thought of like, if I make this decision, what's the repercussion? Is this person going to think? Is this person going to be upset with me? It's like that fear again.
So can you take everybody else out of the equation? Can you take so there's a couple things to look at here. If you continue going the rest of your life thinking about what everybody else's reaction is going to be to every single thing you do, you're not going to feel good. It's called conditional living, when you're living according to all the conditions around you. And whatever's happening out there is going to change how you feel. And if that's how you live, you're going to feel like you're a ping pong going from one feeling to another because you have to adjust yourself every time you come into contact with somebody. Is that what it's been feeling like a little bit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Feels like it's like if I go to work, it's like be professional, be nice, be courteous. You can't say how you feel, or every time I do say what I feel, I cringe because it's like, oh shit, did I say that? Am I gonna lose my job? Because I had an old boss who was just a fucking retard, and everything I did was wrong. I guess like that was more, it backs it up even more too.
Yeah. Absolutely. And because you're in that energy, everything that's happening in your life is now reflecting that. So you're going to run into bosses who you can't please. You know, you're going to run into friends who maybe say something not the right way, and then you're like, I feel like I need to yell at them, but then you don't. You know, like situations like that.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to consider deciding how you want to feel and feeling that way despite what's happening in the world around you?
I love that. But it's like you can't control your feelings. It's just kind of going with what comes, and then just got to sit with it and let it pass. So I guess I'm getting used to that, but it's just more anger, sadness, anxiety. It's like, and then I'm trying to cling to happy feelings, but then that's just like, it's not true happiness.
Right, right. Well, and then if you're trying to cling to, with all that efforting, you're probably mad then at yourself that you have to work so hard to be happy.
Yep.
Like, it shouldn't be this hard. So here's what I would suggest for you. This is more of a proactive approach to living. Obviously, you're going to have anxiety, fears, this anger. You know, we're working on that, but it's still going to be there, and it's okay. But a proactive approach is every morning you wake up and you decide on how you're going to feel. The morning is the best time to decide because you've just slept. You're kind of in that peaceful brain space. And if you decide how you're going to feel, it might last 5 minutes, and that's okay. Maybe after a week of doing that, it lasts 10 minutes, and that's okay. But it's a way for you to start feeling what it would feel like for you to decide how you feel, instead of waiting for phone to ring or going to work and deciding how to feel once you get there. You decide ahead of time. And so once you try that, there's other things you can do too, where it's called pre-paving your day, or even pre-paving an hour. Have you heard of this before? So pre-paving would be, let's say you wake up and you say, you know what, today I want to focus on the feeling of ease. I just want to feel that ease. Ease with making decisions, ease with conversations that I have. I just want to feel ease. And then you can either in your mind do it, or you could journal it out, and you can script out the next hour of your day and describe how easy it was, how much you felt this ease. Because what's happening is you need to start feeling what other emotions feel like. You've been stuck in this anger and fear for a long time. That's all your body knows. So it's like you want to teach your body a new feeling. Does that resonate at all with you?
Yeah, I'm telling myself how to learn how to feel again. And
yeah. And, you know, if you look at that, that emotional scale that I sent you, you could pick a word from that scale. You know, even if it's the word doubt. Doubt is still better than angry or fear. Mm-hmm. So even if you say words like, or even if you like think thoughts like, you know, I doubt this is going to work. I doubt that I'll be able to control my feelings. I doubt that I'll be able to feel ease. I doubt that I'll be able to let go of the anger. But you're making yourself feel doubt. Doubt is still higher than anger. It's still higher than fear, right? So it's just kind of teaching your body these new emotions and what they feel like.
Yeah. And I think I'm doing that because, like, with that call earlier, actually, my dad actually got COVID, and
he did.
Yeah, he's better now, but he's supposed to be in quarantine, and this is where I was trying to this is where I'm like trying to catch myself, because he told me on the phone like, oh hey, I'm just got out of the Secretary of State, and I'm just like, wait a minute, aren't you in quarantine? Like, because my mom said or something, they're in quarantine until August 9th, and something triggered me, and I'm like, why did this trigger me? I didn't even do anything, but you know, he's fucking quarantine. I just picture like, oh, I need to get shit done. He's just stubborn. Yeah. So I'm like, but I was disappointed in him.
Yeah.
I was angry, sad, whatever. I'm just like, but I was like mostly like disappointed. So I processed a lot of that through, and I was just like, why are you an idiot?
Right. Right. Yeah. And all those feelings are perfectly normal. And
I guess like when I was processing like the disappointment, there was just so many other emotions. I'm like, how do I even handle this? Like, I did not know.
right.
I have this, I'm seeing a counselor, and she gave me this like, this kind of this worksheet that's kind of like, kind of asks questions. It's like, it says you're allowed to feel, but like, what are like pros and like one sheet is like, what is the pro of this feeling? Like if I'm angry, for example, it's like, well, I feel good being angry because I'm kind of like expressing my anger, and that feels good. But what's the con? It's like, well, I stay angry.
Hmm. Do you
But
find that, well, go ahead.
I guess it's just, I'm trying to tell my brain, like, it's like, I'm trying not to get all emotional, but I'm still trying to be like, hey, I'm trying to balance you out here, but
Right.
you can't betray yourself here. Because like I told myself, he said, based on the evidence, he left the state or secretary of state. I'm like, did he do it online? Do you know that he went there? Like, am I overreacting to something? And I did. I realized that, which is good. But it's like, that was so hard just to do. Like, it took me like 2 hours to like get over it.
Wow. But you
Yeah.
did. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're really trying to manage your thoughts and your emotions.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work. That's exhausting work.
Yeah.
It is. So how does that feel to have to manage your emotions? What emotion comes up from having to do that?
Dread.
Dread.
Because I have to work at it.
Yeah.
Everything's fucking work.
Yeah.
Everything is work. Like,
Yeah. How would you feel about tapping on that? Because I think we need to loosen that up a little bit.
yeah, I love that because I have every day going to work. It's like I dread doing work.
Do you? Okay. How strong is that dread feeling right now?
10.
A 10. Okay. And
God,
you,
I hate working.
yeah. Do you mainly feel dread because of work, or do you mainly feel dread because of managing your emotions?
Dread for everything. Basically managing my emotions because it's like I got to go to work because it's my day job, and got to get paid. Can't just sit around. So I kind of have to power up and do that. But then it's like I have mental health disorders and stuff. I chose not to do medications, but I have to do these exercises my counselor gave me because these are what work, but it suck to do because it's so much work. And EFT too, like EFT is work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all work. Absolutely. So, all
And
right.
I don't look forward to feeling those feelings because it's like, okay, once I start feeling bad, it's going to take me forever just to get over, if I get over it.
Yeah. Okay.
Story of my life there.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. It is the story of your life. So you need to start changing your story. And that's what I meant with the emotions. Like, give yourself a chance to feel something new, to consider a new way of even just being in your body. Because if you notice, I'm sure anger and fear is, you're so used to feeling that in your body. But if you felt ease, if you just tuned into ease right now and tried to feel ease in your body, I imagine it would feel different in your body.
Yeah, my body doesn't like it. It just reacts. It's like, I got to do something. It's like
Ah,
reacting, compulsions or something.
yeah.
It's like
So,
anxiety builds up and stuff. So it's like,
so it's letting go. Letting
yep,
go doesn't feel safe.
yep,
So your body is tense. There's this tightness.
yep.
So maybe that's where you need to start, is just loosening up the tenseness. Even if it's like, let's say you're tense at a 10, what does a 9 feel like? What does an 8 feel like? What does a 7 feel like? And see how low you can go. That might be a good exercise for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to try that, or do you want to go to the dread right now?
Dread.
Okay, I know, because we kind of brought that up. So, all right, let's go to this. Oh, even though I dread everything,
Even though I dread everything,
I am willing to still love myself.
I'm still willing to love myself.
I'm still willing to accept myself.
I'm still willing to accept myself.
Are those true? Even though I feel all this dread about everything,
Even though I feel all this dread about everything,
I am still willing to love and accept myself.
I'm still willing to love and accept myself.
And that's something to recognize.
And that's something to recognize.
Even though I have all this dread,
Even though I have all this dread,
and it's so much work,
and it's so much work,
so much fucking work.
it's so much fucking work. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting is right. I still, however, love and accept myself.
I still, however, love and accept myself.
All this dread,
All this dread,
all this dread,
all this dread,
all this dread from managing my emotions.
all this dread from managing my emotions.
All these exercises I have to do.
All these exercises I have to do.
All this hard work.
All this hard work.
I just dread it all.
I just dread it all.
I have to manage my emotions.
Manage my emotions,
Because otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen.
because otherwise I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't look forward to feeling those feelings.
I don't look forward to feeling those feelings.
I dread it.
I dread it.
Because who knows how long those feelings will stay.
Who knows how long those feelings will stay?
Who knows if I can even let them go.
Who knows if I can even let them go?
I just have to manage all day long.
I have to manage all day long.
It is so fucking exhausting.
It's so fucking exhausting. You should just feel it and let it pass naturally.
I wonder if I could just feel it and let it pass.
I wonder if I could just let it feel and let it pass without judging it.
Yeah, I wonder what that would be like.
I wonder what that would be like.
I wonder if I didn't have to manage my emotions.
I wonder if I didn't have to manage my emotions.
I bet it doesn't feel safe.
But it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't.
It doesn't feel safe to not manage my emotions.
It doesn't feel safe to not manage my emotions.
So I manage my emotions to feel safe.
So I manage my emotions to feel safe.
But it's so exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
I wonder if I could give this job to somebody else.
What if I can give this job to someone else?
I wonder if I could let it go for 10 minutes.
I wonder if I can let it go for 10 minutes.
Managing all these emotions.
Managing all these emotions.
Not knowing what emotion is going to come up.
Not knowing what emotions are going to come up.
And having to do all these exercises.
Having to do all these exercises.
Having to do all this tapping.
Having to do all this tapping.
I'm just sick of all this work.
I'm just sick of all the work.
I just dread it all.
I dread it all. Where's all the results everyone promised me? I do all the fucking work and never fucking get what people tell me I get it.
What's the point of all this work if I'm not going to get anywhere?
What's the point of all this work if I'm not going to get anywhere?
I still have to manage all my emotions.
I still have to manage all my emotions.
No one has solved that problem for me.
No one has solved that problem for me.
I wonder what would happen if I stopped managing.
I wonder what would happen if I stopped managing.
I wonder what would happen if I chose to feel something different.
I wonder if I chose to feel something different.
I wonder what would happen if I lived a different way.
I wonder what would happen if I lived a different way.
If I went through my day in a different way.
I went through my day in a different way.
Because right now I dread the whole thing.
Because right now I dread the whole thing.
It's so much fucking work.
So much fucking work.
I'm so fucking sick of it.
So fucking sick of it.
All this work.
All this work. Something needs to change.
Something needs to change like now.
Something needs to change now. Yep.
I'm ready for something to change.
I'm ready for something to change.
I'm so ready for something to change.
I'm so ready for something to change.
I wonder what could change.
I wonder what could change.
I know I have to change.
I know I have to change.
I can't make anybody else change.
I can't make anybody else change.
My dad's probably not going to change right now.
My dad's probably not going to change right now.
People around me probably aren't going to change right now.
People around me aren't going to change right now.
Unfortunately, my job's not going to change right now.
Fortunately, my job's not going to change right now.
So I guess that leaves me to change.
So that leaves me to change.
I wonder how I can change.
I wonder how I can change.
I wonder how I can see things differently.
I wonder how I can see things differently.
Maybe I don't have to change all that much.
Maybe I don't have to change all that much.
I wonder if I just changed one little thing.
I wonder if I just change one little thing.
I wonder if I would feel safe doing that.
I wonder if I would feel safe doing that.
Just changing one little thing.
Changing one little thing. I burped, so.
Good, you released something.
Yeah.
How would it feel to change one little thing?
Amazing. A start. But I just want to know what that thing is now.
I wonder what that thing is that I could change.
Wonder what that thing is I could change.
I wonder if I could change how I feel in the morning.
I wonder if I could change how I feel in the morning.
I wonder if I could let go of needing other people to change.
Can you say it again?
I wonder if I could let go of needing other people to change.
I wonder if I could let go of other people needing to change.
Of you needing them to change.
Of me needing them to change.
So let me ask you, do you feel like it obviously would be easier if everybody else changed around you, but do you feel like that's the only way to feel different is if other people changed?
Yeah, because like going back to my dad, I'm like, I was thinking if he didn't do that, I wouldn't be feeling this way. And then if it didn't happen, so it's like,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one, you need to acknowledge the fact that you can't change anybody. Can you do that?
It's hard. I have a control problem.
I want to control people.
Control people.
I want to change people.
I want to change people.
I wish I could just program everybody.
I wish I could just program anybody.
Tell them exactly what to do.
Tell them exactly what to do.
Tell them exactly what to say.
Tell them exactly what to say because I know what's best for them. I feel confident in that.
I should just rule the world, really.
I should just rule the world, really.
If everybody listened to me, things would be perfect.
If everyone just listened to me, things would be perfect.
If only that could happen.
If only that could happen.
If only that could happen, I would feel so...
If only I could be God.
It'd feel so good to be God.
It feels so good to be God.
Because if I was God, then...
Because if I was God, then... I don't know. Feel bad now.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. Everything I learned is just from church or things that I hear or whatever, and it's just from the voices and people, and it's not my own intuitive nature. It's not what it's not what God says. To be honest.
You just want people to be quiet.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah. I wish everybody would just shut the fuck up.
I wish everyone would shut the fuck up.
And just mind their own business and leave me alone.
Mind their own goddamn business and leave me alone.
Just go away, everybody.
Just go away, everyone.
Because then I could have some peace.
Then I could have some peace.
What if I can have some peace even with people around me?
What if I could have peace with people around me?
I want to have peace with people around me.
I want to have peace with people around me.
I don't want to just hide away in my house forever and never see anybody.
I just don't want to hide away in my house forever and
not see
anyone.
I still want to see people.
I still want to see people.
I just want the interactions to be positive.
I just want the interactions to be positive. Yeah.
So if only I could control them.
If only I could control them.
But I can't.
But I can't.
It's not my job.
It's not my job.
Everybody gets to control themselves.
Everyone has to control themselves.
Which means
I need to control myself.
Which means I'm the only one that can control
I'm the only one who can control myself.
Right? How true does that feel?
Yeah, it's starting to resonate a little bit.
I can't control anybody else.
Can't control anyone else.
Therefore, they can't control me.
Therefore, they can't control me.
I'm the only one that gets to control me.
I'm the only one who gets to control me.
I'm the one that writes the programs in my mind.
I'm the one who writes the programs in my mind.
I'm the one that feels my emotions.
I'm the one who feels my emotions.
It's not up to anybody else.
It's not up to anyone else.
And up to this point, I've been letting them decide how I feel.
And up to this point, I've been letting them decide how I feel.
But maybe right now I can decide
But maybe right now I can decide
that I'm going to choose how I feel.
that I'm going to choose how I feel.
And I'm going to do that by choosing different perspectives.
And I'm going to choose that by choosing different perspectives.
So the way that you do that, what I mean by that is the reason why you feel the way you feel is because of perspectives that you have in place. These are the beliefs that you have locked into place. And that's what I meant before when I said your body, your cells have memorized that. So, does that resonate more now?
I think it's getting back to the energy psychology. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Limiting beliefs.
Yep. Yeah. So we need to get to those limiting beliefs, those perspectives that are anchored. They're anchored in your cells.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the way that we do that is we find them by working backwards. You start with how you feel, and then you ask yourself, why do I feel that way? And there's a perspective that's holding it in place. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you started this call by saying when you saw your dad's number, you immediately went to fear. Well, mm-hmm. Why did you go to fear? Because you believe you're going to get yelled at and nothing you do is right. That is an incorrect perspective. You created that perspective because it was true at one time. And maybe sometimes it still does feel true. Mm-hmm. But it's not true all the time. You found that out today because you said your dad didn't yell at you.
Yeah.
So you have this perspective that my dad's going to automatically yell at me. So let's shift that perspective. Can you consider a different perspective? Like, for example, maybe sometimes my dad will yell at me, but maybe sometimes he won't.
I can consider that.
I can consider that. Can you also consider that even though my dad made all these rules for me when I was younger, and I never knew what the rule was, and I never could please him, and I was always wrong, can you consider that maybe he wasn't the world's authority figure on deciding what Austin should or shouldn't do?
Feels good to think that he's not the power authority.
Mm-hmm. So you can consider it.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't know everything.
Right. He was doing the best he could. You said earlier, I caught that you had said, he's angry, or he was angry, or he was, something happened that he got mad about and then he took it out on you. So this is his issue. It actually has nothing to do with you. You just ended up being the, punching bag, for lack of better words.
Mm-hmm. I like that word.
Yeah. And
it's just this need. I want to help him not be that way, but there's nothing I can do. So I'm desperate or powerless. I can't help him. It's just like that control again. It's like, I can't do anything for you. What do you want me to do?
All right. But here's the thing. You first have to help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I would leave him out of it for a little while. Because if you jump to now wanting to help him, you're still in the muck. It's mucky there.
Yep.
So if you can first help yourself and say, even if you decide for the month of August, there are going to be things your dad does that you don't like. There are going to be things or times when you think you can help him, Or, geez, if he only just listened to me, you know, he'd be happier, or he would feel better, or whatever it is. But maybe for August, I mean, and you get to decide the time frame, but maybe for August you say, I'm going to leave him out of it for now, and I'm just going to focus on me. Because if you feel better, if you resolve some of these issues that you're dealing with, you're going to be in a better place to help him.
Mm-hmm. I've done that before. It's just the fear is so strong. My body's so used to this fear. It's like it's going to take a long time to get it.
All right, my body's so used to this fear.
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 I wonder what would happen if my body released some of it.
I wonder if it was possible for my body to release it.
I wonder what would happen.
I wonder what would happen.
I wonder how it would feel.
I wonder how it would feel. Feels like I have my power back because I've done it before. It's just I don't know how to get back there again, I guess.
But I know it's possible because I've been there.
I know it's possible because I've been there before.
I wonder what would happen if my body let it go.
I wonder what would happen if my body let it go.
I wonder what would happen if I let go of this fear.
I wonder what would happen if I let go of this fear.
I wonder what my body would say if it realized that I was changing things.
I wonder what my body would say if it realized I was changing things.
I wonder if it would be happy.
I wonder if it would be happy.
Or I wonder if it would be frightened.
I wonder if it would be frightened. I'd be frightened.
My body would be frightened.
My body would be frightened. It's not ready for change.
My body's not ready for change.
My body's not ready for change.
Maybe my body's ready for 1% change.
Maybe my body's ready for 1% change.
How does that feel?
Not really.
Maybe my body's ready for 0.5% change.
Maybe my body's ready for 0.5% change.
How does that feel? My body's not ready for change.
My body's not ready for change.
Maybe it's okay my body's not ready for change.
Maybe it's okay my body's not ready for change.
When my body's ready, it'll know.
When my body's ready, it'll know.
It's okay that my body's not ready for change yet.
It's okay my body's not ready for change yet.
Maybe right now my body can just think about it.
Maybe my body can just think about it.
And maybe I can just think about it.
Maybe I can just think about it.
Maybe I can get excited about the possibility of change.
Maybe I can get excited about the possibility of change.
Anything coming up?
I think I'm starting to agree with that, yeah. Like, just when my body says it's ready, not just because I'm told to do so.
Ah, yeah, see, then you'd be told again. I get to decide.
I get to decide.
I'll decide when my body's ready.
I'll decide when my body's ready.
I get to decide.
I get to decide.
Even if someone tells me it's time, I get to decide.
Even if someone tells me it's time, I get to decide.
Nobody gets to control me.
No one gets to control me.
I
get to control me.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
I get to control me.
I get to control me.
Maybe I don't need to dread managing my emotions so much.
Maybe I don't need to dread managing my emotions so much.
Maybe I can be kind to myself.
Maybe I can be kind to myself.
Maybe I can just watch my emotions come and go.
Maybe I can just watch my emotions come and go.
Maybe I can do my exercises when I'm inspired to do so.
Maybe I can do my exercises when I'm inspired to do so.
Maybe I can tap when I'm inspired to do so.
Maybe I can tap when I'm inspired. So I can tap when I just want to, because there's times when I don't want to even tap at all.
But you do?
Like, it's like a compulsion. It's like my OCD. It's like, because I know the results of tapping plain as day, but it's like compulsive, like, oh, just start tapping, you'll feel better. And that's kind of wrong. But maybe if I just say, I won't tap until I feel my body's ready to tap.
Yep. You get to decide.
Yep.
But don't discount the fact that your mind goes there because you know the results. You know, so that could be you saying, or your body saying, yeah, but you know you're gonna feel better. Like that could still be an inspired thought.
Well, I hope this doesn't sound derogatory or anything, but coming from practitioners, when others say just tap, like that's still like telling me what to do. And I'm not ready to tap yet. So please don't tell me just to tap.
Right. No, I hear you. But maybe I misunderstood you though. Did you say that when something comes up, do you want to stop tapping for a second?
Yeah.
When something comes up, you said you kind of get that, like that OCD where, oh, I better tap.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant. So when you get that thought, oh, I better tap, ask yourself, is this an inspired thought because I know it's going to make me feel better? Or is this my OCD telling me that I have to? See if you can differentiate between the two, and then realize that you get to decide. Does that sit with you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been doing that actually, because I've been not like this past week, like when we last tapped, I kind of took some days off, but I tapped because I felt comfortable. I felt with confidence, like, okay, it's safe to tap.
Yeah.
But then when it's not, it's like, nope, not ready to tap. I'm not forcing anything.
That's great, Austin. So look at the decisions that you're making for yourself. Those are beautiful decisions. So give yourself credit for that.
Yeah, maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit.
Yeah. So
I'm doing better though, because like I'm not like when I overreacted, like I realize that I'm like, okay, I don't care if the feeling is gonna last forever. I'm just gonna let it sit there. Like I actually gave myself some love there. So like that's starting to do that. Like this is where I'm realizing this is gonna take a long time, but it's still gonna be like that managing.
yeah. And just start to consider that at some point you won't have to manage so much. And you'll be able to kind of loosen that control, because it's interesting that you don't want anybody to control you, but then you're controlling all of your emotions. You know, you're all that tenseness, you know, you're doing it with tenseness. So I wonder how it would feel to manage your emotions, but not with so much tenseness. Like instead, maybe say, I wonder what I'd like to decide right now. I wonder what I would like to choose right now. I'm going to give myself freedom to just sit with these emotions, or I'm going to be kind to myself and say, you know what, I'm going to set the timer, and for 5 minutes, I'm going to feel this feeling, and I'm going to feel it wholeheartedly. And then in 5 minutes, I'm going to decide that it's time to move on. Just see if you can play around with some of those thoughts and ideas.
Mm-hmm. I actually kind of do that. I just need to do it more. You said like if it's competition, if I lose, it's like I feel like I lost because losing sucks, but it's like I do it for like 5. The challenge though is like if I keep feeling that way, it's like I'm trying to push myself a little bit, but it's like I still got to feel it more.
Yeah.
So I guess that's just part of my sensitivity, I think, though. It's like when I feel something, I feel it full effect.
And it's good that your sensitivity is only going to be an asset for you.
Yeah, I guess that's just what I'm trying to make it. Like I told you last week, that's why I want to be a practitioner, and this is why I'm glad we're doing this, because the more I can harness my sensitivity, the better I'm able to
absolutely
be a better practitioner. So,
and when those emotions are there, try to be that sensitive person for the emotions. It's almost like you can see the emotion as a separate thing, and you're there to, I don't want to use the word comfort the emotion, but you're there to allow it.
Just watch it.
Yeah. And you're watching it in a loving way, in a sensitive way. It's more of a gentle approach rather than, I'm watching you and you better go. You better leave in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail, because I've had that too, where I just kind of like said, it's like, okay, this is uncomfortable, but I'm here. Like I'm telling myself, like, I'm here. You're not alone.
Yeah. Nice.
But then like there's that my ego or something. It's like you need like my dad's voice or something. It's like, you need to get over this right now. It's like
So recognize that's your dad's voice and not yours. And in that moment, all you say is, thanks, Dad, but I get to decide. I get to decide now. I'm an adult. I get to decide now. You don't get to decide anymore.
mm-hmm. Write that down. I like that. I'll get it later.
All right, so I gave you a bunch of suggestions. Whatever resonates with you and whatever you're inspired to do, just try one little thing here and there and just see how it feels, how it sits.
Yeah, I'll just trust and see what comes up, I guess. I'm not going to force myself to try and remember.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the morning, if you want to try what I had suggested, which is choose an emotion and just feel it. Let your body see what it feels like to feel something different.
Even if it's just for a small time of the day?
Yeah, yeah.
Even if it's a negative emotion, like doubt or...
Yeah, because as long as it's something higher up than your typical anger and fear.
Okay.
Right? You just want it to be different.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now that we realize we're in the same time zone,
Yeah.
what time would be good for you for next Monday?
Do you want to do 5:30?
Okay, so later
Or
is better for you because I'm available earlier as well. What works best for you?
So I'm working from home, so actually, do you want to do noon next week, Monday?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be better.
And that's the 10th, right? Yeah, Monday the 10th
Yep.
at noon. Okay, perfect. All right, Austin, I look forward to that. Have a great week and only do what inspires you.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.